Most people think billionaires live in giant mansions hidden behind gates. But the wealthiest people on Earth often build something much larger than a mansion. They build compounds, private worlds designed around security, privacy, comfort, and control. Because eventually extreme wealth changes how people think about space itself. A house is no longer enough, and that created one of the most exclusive forms of real estate in the world, the billionaire compound. At level 1, compounds begin as luxury estates. This is where the journey starts. A large mansion sits on private land surrounded by gardens, walls, and security. The property feels secluded, because successful people naturally value privacy more as wealth increases. Distance becomes attractive, and psychologically, the estate creates separation from everyday life, a private retreat. But eventually, a single house stops feeling sufficient. The property begins expanding. At level 2, multiple structures appear across the estate. The compound starts taking shape. Guest houses, staff residences, garages, and entertainment buildings emerge. The property becomes a campus. Because wealth creates complexity, more people and operations need more space. And the owner begins viewing land differently. Space becomes freedom. At this level, the compound supports a lifestyle rather than a residence. Everything has a purpose. At level 3, self-sufficiency enters the equation. The compound becomes independent. Private power systems, water supplies, food production areas, and backup infrastructure appear. Resilience becomes important, because relying entirely on outside systems feels risky to some wealthy individuals. Preparation creates confidence, and psychologically, independence provides peace of mind. Control feels valuable. The compound slowly evolves into a self-contained environment, a private ecosystem. At level 4, security becomes a defining feature of the compound. Protection takes priority. Perimeter monitoring, controlled access points, surveillance networks, and trained personnel appear. Everything becomes layered, because visibility increases as wealth grows. And visibility often attracts attention, and the compound transforms from private property into protected territory. Security becomes architecture. At this level, every entrance, road, and building is carefully planned. Nothing is accidental. At level 5, compounds become lifestyle kingdoms. Luxury reaches another level. Private theaters, sports facilities, wellness centers, artificial lakes, and exclusive recreation areas appear. The property becomes extraordinary, because the ultra-rich increasingly prefer experiences within controlled environments. Convenience becomes luxury, and owners no longer need to leave frequently for entertainment. Everything exists on site. The compound begins functioning like a private resort, a world built around one family. At level 6, compounds evolve into operational centers. Power enters the story. Executive offices, meeting facilities, communication systems, and private transportation infrastructure emerge. The property becomes strategic, because major business decisions often require privacy and efficiency. The compound supports both, and the owner can work, live, travel, and host important guests without disruption. Everything becomes integrated. At this level, the compound is no longer simply residential. It becomes influential. At level 7, compounds stop functioning like homes entirely. They become private civilizations. This is the world of billionaire mega compounds spread across vast areas of land. Everything is custom built. Private roads, airstrips, security teams, independent infrastructure, and multiple specialized facilities appear. Nothing is ordinary. At this level, the owner is not simply purchasing luxury. They are creating an environment designed around personal priorities, privacy, and continuity. A world within a world. And maybe that represents the final evolution of billionaire compounds. Complete environmental control. Because eventually, wealth stops being about owning more things. It becomes about controlling more variables. Most people think compounds are simply oversized mansions, but the reality is much more complex. A mansion is a building. A compound is a system. A system designed to protect privacy, support operations, and create independence. A system built for long-term control. And throughout history, the most powerful individuals often shared one common goal: creating space away from the public eye. because privacy becomes increasingly valuable as influence grows. The less accessible something is, the more powerful it often becomes. And billionaire compounds became the ultimate expression of that idea. Private worlds hidden behind ordinary gates. Not because billionaires need more space, but because they want more control.